This cannot happen. Liverpool cannot get Isak. It would not be fair. Like, the thought of this being Liverpool's starting 11 next season makes me feel sick. The good news is Isak is very happy at Newcastle. All reliable journalists, everyone suggested Isak is happy at Newcastle, and Newcastle don't want to sell Isak. So hopefully that means Liverpool's chances of getting Isak are slim. Very slim, hopefully. But look, Darwin Nunez' sale is advancing. Romano was confirmed. Alexander Isak is the dream target. Ekitike is there as the backup if Liverpool don't get Isak. And we're going to talk about all the latest news on Isak, Ekitike to Liverpool and what Liverpool's plans are. We're going to talk in detail about this front four and how it would just be insane and how Isak would fit in at Liverpool, and if they can't get Isak, how Ekitike would fit in and be a good signing. We're going to break down all the transfer news in a second on Liverpool and Isak, and then we're going to get into the analysis on it. But look, I've always felt that Isak was not going to leave Newcastle this summer. I always felt that he was going to stay at Newcastle. They want to keep him. But I also thought that Florian Wirtz was going to stay in Germany, and I was wrong about that. And Liverpool's pulled this window, what they've been able to do this window, particularly if they get Darwin Nunez out the door. I don't know. There's a price on Isak. Newcastle don't want to sell. Isak's happy at the club, but there's a price on it. And, you know, every club has a price for every player. And this, guys, would be insane. Like, you've got Frimpong and Kirkes that are going to bomb up high and wide and provide overlapping support for Salah and either Gakpo or Diaz anyway. You're going to have, obviously, you've got your centre-backs. You've probably got Gravenberch spitting in there. The centre-backs aren't going to be that wide. You know, you've got McAllister that likes to float in here on the right. Wirtz will be more attacking, floating in on the left. And then you've got Isak. And Isak Wirtz is going to be providing service for Isak to run onto. Wirtz is going to be providing service for Salah. Wirtz will come out wide, potentially provide service for Isak. Isak will make runs out wide, and Wirtz will have space open up for someone like Gakpo to come central or Salah to come central. Like, honestly, it makes me feel sick. So let's get into the news. Alexander Isak has been Liverpool's dream target since day one, but it remains complicated. So, look, Romano was saying Isak is the dream target. Isak's who Liverpool wants. But he said dream and he said complicated. So, as a Man United fan, I'm not too worried now. But, like, if I feel that this deal could happen, I'm going to get worried. I'm not going to lie, I do not want this to happen. But I'm just thinking, look, Tottenham's dream target is probably Lamine Yamal. That doesn't mean Tottenham's going to get Lamine Yamal. You could say Tottenham's dream target's Lamine Yamal, but it's complicated. You know, you could say Man United's dream target's Kylian Mbappe, but it's complicated. So this doesn't mean that Isak is going anywhere. This doesn't mean that Isak is going to Liverpool. But what this does mean is Liverpool haven't given up. Liverpool haven't gone, you know what, we're just going to go for Ekitike this summer. Isak's not possible. They will go for Isak when they sell Nunez. Will they get him? I don't know. Hopefully not. But they will go for him. And if they get him, it won't be fair. And I'm going to explain how they'd use Isak. I'm going to explain how they'd use Ekitike in a minute. But let's dive into some more news. We know that Liverpool have further additions planned. The fact that they've gone out and signed Frimpong, Kirkes and Wirtz after winning the league and now have the ambition to get arguably the best striker in the world, Alexander Isak, it's grim. It's grim as a Man United fan. It's absolutely grim. Kirkes, one of them at Man United. Frimpong, so this is the perfect right wing back for Amarin. Wirtz, world-class generational player that I didn't think a Premier League club had a chance of signing, and Liverpool pulled that. Alexander Isak, I've been saying all summer, Alexander Isak's going to stay at Newcastle. I believe Alexander Isak's going to stay at Newcastle. You know, I've been telling Arsenal fans, I don't know why you keep linking stuff to Isak. He's going to stay at Newcastle. But knowing my luck, it would be Liverpool of all sides to change that. Hopefully he stays at Newcastle. And look, but Liverpool can't move until, you know, they have the situation resolved with Darwin Nunez. You know, Jota and Chiesa's future's uncertain as well. Diaz isn't even 100%. There's been rumours of him going. So look, you know, there could be 2 attacking additions. You never know. There could be 2 new signings if Diaz, Chiesa and Jota and Nunez will go. There could be 2 new signings in attack. Like, Liverpool's attack next season could look very different. Things could be very different. There is reports as well that Liverpool are huge fans of Newcastle United's Isak and are monitoring the situation along with Hugo Ekitike. And I think right now Liverpool are focused on getting Nunez out, and then seeing if they can get Isak. And if they can't get Isak, I think they're going to go for Ekitike. Now, there's report of him being 100 million euros versus 85 million price tag. That's never going to happen. You know, Marmoush, who for me was the better player, went for 63 million. And there is now talk of Ekitike being closer to 63 million. Also, a lot of the fee would be an add-on. So if it was 70 million, it could be 20 million in add-ons. And apparently, Frankfurt are willing to do a very good structured deal for Ekitike as well, where you'd pay over 5 years. But you know, in regards to Ekitike, I think he's maybe more realistic than Isak for now. But look, as a Man United fan, I don't want Liverpool to get Isak because he's obviously incredible. I don't want Liverpool to get Osimhen because he's incredible. But also, like, realistically, if Man United can't get Gyökeres, Ekitike is who Man United's going for. Who, like, I don't want Man United to spend loads of money on it. But, like, I don't want him going to Liverpool because he's becoming the guy I sort of want Man United now. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't want Liverpool to sign anyone. Can they just stop that? Can they? Can they just stop? But it may take time. It may take time. I'm not saying anything's going to happen soon. I'm not saying anything's going to happen tomorrow. But the idea of Isak to Liverpool is terrifying. And Liverpool clearly want Isak and they've got that ambition. But look, you know, they've got to sell. They see themselves in the race for Hugo Ekitike. Even though he's a Man United fan and United have had conversations, I do think he could go to Liverpool over us because, well, they won the league and we finished 15th. People say we finished 16th. We finished 15th. Thank you very much. We finished above Wolves in the end. Two spaces above Spurs. Yeah, that's not a flex, is it? Anyway. However, they signalled they still need sales, including Nunez, to make this happen, was from Florian Plettenberg. And when it comes to Bundesliga news, Florian Plettenberg's very reliable. When it comes to non-Bundesliga news, but when it comes to Bundesliga, he's very reliable. And he said Liverpool are now seriously in the race for Hugo Ekitike, and talks have taken place between Slot, Edwards, keen on him. And this is a very good journalist when it comes to Bundesliga news. So Liverpool's dream, as we know, is Alexander Isak. We're going to talk about that in detail in a second. But they're also looking at Ekitike. So what do I think? And what do I think on these potential signings if Liverpool get him? First of all, they need to sell Nunez. I think they will sell Nunez. There's some updates coming out about Napoli. I'm going to get into that in a second. Isak's obviously the first choice, but he's happy at Newcastle. He's not for sale. I've always felt that Isak was going to stay at Newcastle and leave Newcastle next summer. But you just never know with this transfer window. You never know. Isak could wake up tomorrow and push for a move. I don't think he will. I think he's happy at Newcastle, but he could. Ekitike is the second choice, the more realistic choice. But there's competition from United and Chelsea. You know, I'd rather them get Ekitike than Isak. But then if Man United want Ekitike, I'd rather them get none. Do you know what I mean? I think massively depends on Newcastle. If Liverpool went and said, here's 150 million for Isak, I think Newcastle accept that. With the PSR issues Newcastle have had, I know this season they don't have those issues, but I think they could accept over 130 million for Isak, potentially. But I think it would have to be if Isak pushed it. I think it's up to Newcastle. But before they can do anything, they need to sell Nunez. So what is the latest on that? Napoli have moved from phone calls to serious and direct contact with Darwin Nunez. They're working on the operation. So there seems to be some serious advancements going on in regards to Darwin Nunez and Napoli, which could speed up Liverpool's chances of signing a striker if this happens. And Napoli in for Grealish and in for Nunez, but you don't want Garnacho anymore. That winds me up, you know, because Garnacho's had the best season out of the three of them by a long way, but I guess it's the attitude thing. Anyway, so let's talk about Isak, why he's going to be a game-changing signing for Liverpool if they get him, why he's just terrifying, why this plan could not happen. And then I'm going to talk about Ekitike, the alternative, and, you know, how the front four could be. So first of all, you know, age 25, 34 games, 23 goals, 6 assists. When it comes to, like, goals and assists per minute in the league, like, he's right up in the top 3. He's very clinical. I mean, was it the goal he scored versus Liverpool when he hit it at like 1,000,000 miles an hour? It felt like, honestly, he's got the pace. He can be transition threat. He's got intelligent movement. Isak, when it comes to being an all-round complete striker, arguably the best in the league. 2 seasons in a row where he's got that 20-goal mark. I mean, I'm just going to double check he got 20 goals last season, but I think he got 21 goals last season and had injuries. Yeah, in 30 games, he got 21 goals last season, 23 goals and 6 assists in 34 games this season. And I will say, I think the last 2 months of the season, Isak was playing with injury. He wasn't getting any goals his last 5-6 games or having his best performances because he was overplayed with a groin injury. So I think if he wasn't even injured, you could have seen him get 26, 27 goals for the season. Like, he's one of the most clinical strikers in football. He's definite. One, he's a 10 times the finisher of Nunez, but two, he's a technical upgrade. He's got elements of what Nunez offers in work rate, runs in behind, dangerous runs, direct. But he's a massive upgrade on that so much technically. His ability to get the ball, link up play, sharp footwork, dribble it. He can take the ball, he can dribble, he can carry it. You know, we've seen as the Henry type player. Take the ball, dribble it, carry it, link it out wide. He gets goals, he gets assists, he's clinical, he can shoot, he can pass, he can dribble, he can hold up. Like, it's like, what can't he do? One of the highest conversion rates in the league. You know, he is one of those people that he doesn't need to have a lot of shots to score a lot of goals. And I felt at times for Liverpool this season, there was games where they had like 30 shots and couldn't put the ball in the back of the net once or twice, and they had that under Klopp the season before. And Isak's one of those guys where he normally puts in the back of the net. Of course, he's had periods where he's been off, but normally he's very clinical. He doesn't need a lot of shots. You know, Liverpool don't get a lot of space. Isak is quite good at, even though he's very good when he's given space with the runs, with the movement, with the linking up play and playing into Gordon and Murphy. He's quite good in tight spaces because of his technical ability. And I think, you know, Liverpool have lacked true consistent scorers other than Salah. As I meant to put other than Salah, not since Salah. But Liverpool, you know, Firmino wasn't a scorer. You know, they haven't had a goal scorer in a while. But, you know, you look at Liverpool, Salah is the true consistent scorer, and he's in his prime right now. Firmino wasn't really much of a scorer, but if you look at the Firmino era, you look at the numbers Mane was getting, you look at the numbers Salah was getting. Isak is the kind of striker, and I feel like I worded that really badly. But like, when you look at Liverpool, what I meant is Salah is the consistent scorer for Liverpool. Gakpo's decent. Diaz is decent. Nunez had a good season, I think, under Klopp, but not this season. Jota's decent. But other than prime Salah, Liverpool don't have a true and consistent goal scorer. The last time they had a true and consistent goal scorer was the front three peak Firmino era. Firmino, Mane, Salah, when Firmino was doing that. That's what I meant. That's how I meant to word it. I think Isak's the kind of guy that would be able to get higher numbers out of the wingers as well. He's someone that can combine with the wingers. And you look at Wirtz bringing the creativity in behind on top of that, and Isak's ability to facilitate wingers. And that is potentially very, very dangerous. You obviously look at Slot. He has a 4-2-3-1. He wants the striker to be able to drop deep, combine with the wingers, stretch defenses. You know, we talk about Kerkez and Frimpong coming in this season to stretch the opposition's defense and open up space. And I did a video about how Wirtz and his creativity and passing could exploit the space, exploit between the lines. You know, Isak can make the runs and drop deep and also exploit that space. You know, if you look at Isak's movement, he's going to create pockets for Wirtz and the wide players to exploit as well, which would be very dangerous. Isak is good in transitions. He's good in the half space. He's good at scoring. He's good at making late runs and getting on the end of things. He feels like he's good at everything. He's a good presser of the ball. He's tactically aware. And he's just someone that he scares defenses. And I said this here. You know, you look and you think of like, okay, Isak dragging defenders wide, opening space for Wirtz, you know, to pass or shoot. Wirtz has good goal scoring numbers. Wirtz and Salah, you know, two of the most productive chance creators in Europe statistically and scorers. You know, Isak's going to thrive off that supply, or he can supply them. You've got Gakpo and Diaz on the left, giving the width, giving the chaos. You know, Isak's going to feed off the cutbacks. You know, you've got Frimpong and Kerkez that are going to overlap Salah and Gakpo or Salah and Diaz. And there's going to be all that wide threat and crosses coming in. You look at the amount of assists Jacob Murphy got this season from wide areas, playing it into Isak for a tap-in. Isak's one of the strikers. He can score tap-ins, he can score worldies. And when the attack is so technical and explosive, and you've got the chance creators in Wirtz centrally, and you've got the chance creators out wide from who Liverpool have brought in, you know, that's a very complete attack. That's just not just capable of dominating the Premier League, but dominating Europe. Like, that is a title-winning side. Now, of course, they might not get Isak. They could get Ekitike. But again, Ekitike would be a very smart signing if they can't get Isak. It's no Isak and he's more raw. And if you can get Isak, you get Isak. But look, he's 22. He's got plenty of room for growth. He had a fantastic season this year. He's mobile. He's technically gifted. Again, he likes to drop deep, link play. He can go out wide, can do rotations, can open up space with his movement. Slot will like that. Would cost significantly less than Isak, but still a lot of money. I think he's got experience in high pressure systems, good at transition. Question is, what would he do with less space in the Premier League? He's still raw, but if you look at Slot's ability to get the best out of Gravenberch and Gakpo and young players and coach players, he could do very well. If Slot wants a player and signs a player, you know that they're probably going to do well. And if you look at, you know, forwards that can drift wide, carry the ball, and allow others to join an attack, Ekitike is that kind of forward. He's absolutely that kind of forward because he's a very good ball carrier. He's happy to go in the wide channels. He's happy to carry centrally, which is what you want. You don't want one that can do one or the other. His off-the-ball movement ability to find pockets is smart. And when you've got Wirtz as 10 with Wirtz's creativity, Ekitike's ability to find the pockets would be really good. His run's going to create space for wide players anyway because people have got to mark him centrally, and Wirtz can just find Salah playing out wide. You know, he's good in his 1v1 duels. He's quite press resistant. He's quite agile. His finishing is nowhere near Isak level, but he could evolve into a Firmino type forward, I honestly think. And I think he could be a good signing. Anyway, thank you for watching today's video. See you next time. Bye.